There are ways... Oh, here we go. We get to test the matchup that I built this deck for. After all this build-up, this is going to go horribly now, isn't it? Good. Okay. Probably good. Probably not good without thingy. I might just ship these, to be fair. We have no setup for this. And I'd much rather find some kind of early game. This at least lets me kill... I don't really want to kill a Taigete with this, but... it lets me kill a Metallurgist. Helps. Oh, I guess Lava Slashes get aspected. So I think one of these is getting replaced, and then either this or the other one. It's like... it really isn't. It's the fact that you can ramp so fast it makes it unfair to counter. It's like, I think it is pretty... Like, the combo is pretty ridiculous. It is counterable, and there was a period of time where everyone was running Lightbenders because the combo was popular. Now that people aren't so much, it's really good again. Yeah, let's go with this. Oh. Do I stun my opponent or do I just drop a Wisp? I think I'll drop a Wisp because it can take a Mana Tile. Even without ramp, it literally turns the game into clear all walls every turn or you lose. Yeah, that's correct and somewhat unfortunate. It is doable though. They don't have that many wall making cards. There's like 4 to 6 in their deck. So it's not massively different from realistically a lot of decks where like if they have a couple of threats in, they can do a ton of damage to you from most board positions. Right, so I'm definitely stunning my opponent this turn, so I might just do that before I replace. I'm probably going to punch this Cryptographer. Hello. Don't need 2 of these. Ooh. We're just going here and passing. Nice. Actually, that's awkward given I just didn't empty anything out of my hand that turn. 4 to 6, but each makes 4 or 5 walls. Yeah, the main counter is Lightbender, and to a lesser extent other AoE effects, and being on the other side of the board. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, it is rough. There is also there is also one more like spicy thing you can do, which is you can play Mage Sworn, at which point if they have a Ghost Seraphim in play, they can't cast any spells whatsoever, and it's much easier to win. After being surrounded by charges, use Tempest to clear. Oh yeah, like if your back's against the wall, you get surrounded. It's much more difficult. But like my opponent could have played around that by avoiding the wall itself, and then it makes it much harder for me to surround her like that. Also, if she'd pinged the middle one and walked out this way, her Night Fiend would have cleared them all, and she wouldn't have died. So my opponent actually could have played that in such a way that she didn't die. Yeah, I can Luminous here. How do I want to position? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 2, 3, 4, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yes. I'm going to go here to protect the Mana Tile so that I can Seraphim if I top deck Flawless Reflection. You think I should nerf? Do I think they should nerf cards more often? Not necessarily. I actually think that... So, my opinion on nerfs is relatively delicate. I'm not opposed to balance changes, not at all. I'm also not opposed to them printing busted stuff to see if it's busted. Like, consider the previous meta, the previous expansion. Thunderhorn is everywhere. And without the tools that Vaath has now, Lava Slasher actually didn't see that much play, despite the previous meta when it came out. It was like the talk of the town, right? It was broken. I would say like like 3 of the they've nerfed Revenant now, but like at least 2 of the the best 5 cards in the game are in the core set, and that's not necessarily bad. Like they can do that. I'm not like, on the flip side, I think if they don't nerf cards, like, it obviously can leave people feeling unsatisfied, can cause problematic matters and so on. I'm not massively worried if they don't, usually. I think there's definitely... So the main one is there's a really big argument for leaving players room to experiment. Like, if we can figure out ourselves how to beat the Menace, like what's the best thing to do, then maybe the problem will go away by itself. And that doesn't necessarily happen straight away. So part of the reason I'm building these decks today is I want to try and figure that out. Like, I want to see, is there a way to beat Vaath now? Like, am I just going to play this Ghost Seraphim without finality? I think I actually am. Like, I can play this and stun my opponent, and they can't do anything about it. They can Thumping Wave it. That would suck. I could just, like, double Snowpiercer and hit him in the face. That seems risky without thingy. Shroud. But I want this. My opponent's going to try and Macanto the walls. So if I put this here, it also body blocks that. And then stun them. Yes! Haha! Can I pull Reflection? I can now! Where are we? They used to do monthly balance changes. After the acquisition, they said they don't want to do that anymore. That was actually before that. Like, they used to do monthly card printings and occasionally balance changes. Basically, like, during and shortly after the beta. And when the beta period ended, they said they'd be slowing down the rate at which they made changes. Shroud. Shroud does not save you, my friend. I can still use it. Are they dead? I think they're dead. Yeah, that's 24 damage. Okay. Good luck with that, mate. Oh, that's gross. See, like, this is why I'm not too worried about Vaath right now, because, like, we destroyed this person. We ruined their day. Like, they had no hope in that game. They just got destroyed. And this is my first draft of this deck. And I'm just one player. Like, there are ways to beat most things in this game. And so, I'm personally of the opinion that, especially from Counterplay's perspective, it's worth giving the player base time to figure out stuff like this. Like, is there a, at least in tournaments. I think, as a separate note, that doesn't necessarily mean they should nerf cards, but in practice usually does. As a separate note, I think there is an argument to be made that the current meta is verging in a direction that isn't very fun. In that we have, like, the current tournament viable decks are like minionless decks that play a ton of removal and not much else. Or not minionless, minion light. So like Vaath Control and Mantra are both, like, you need some removal to make sure that you don't get bunched in the face by a Geomancer or a Slasher, but like they don't play a lot of minions, and so the games become repetitive. Like every turn it's like you play some stuff, they kill it, you play some more stuff, they kill it. And that doesn't necessarily mean you can't win. Like, it's all about trying to maneuver your way around their removal and beat them down before they find their win condition. But like, especially against Mantra, it's not fun. And I think that's maybe more of a problem. Like, for the casual player, or even for, people like us, like, I like to meme, I like to experiment, I like a meta where I can do cool things. The power level, I mean, rotation will help with some of this, but with only Shimzar leaving, it's not going to make that much difference.